Hey everybody, welcome back to Spinner Rack. Today I'm here with my boy Petey, and we are talking today about the Harris. The Harris is episode 3 of The Mandalorian season 2. And hey, we're going to go back and talk a little about some of the things that we are interested in naturally. And this is a live show, so if you have any questions or you want to talk more about it, feel free to drop in. Comment, give thumbs up, negative comments. We're willing to talk to you about anything. What's your thoughts on it? So we're going back once again. Mandalorian. Episode 3, The Harris. So, just to give a quick breakdown. Hey, PD, what was your take on let's give a little brief synopsis of the episode. So, for those who may not have seen it or who, just to get the whole thing going.
You want me to do that?
Do you want me to take care of it?
Ultimately, they finish. I don't know the names of the areas they go to. So I have to follow your lead. I just know that he's with the frog lady. And then you want me to do this? So he's with the frog lady in his ship, right? The ship is a total wreck. They go
Razor Crest.
They go to this dock where they see some characters that look like this calamari guy, right? Look totally like the calamari guy. But this guy isn't saying it's a trap. He's gonna somehow work on their thing, right? That's what's going on. So they go there. The frog lady sees her people. She's like, "Yo, I didn't know you were gonna be here." And they connect.
What do you mean? That's what she was waiting for. That was a baby daddy. The baby that.
So I guess brought the baby. I can't believe it.
You made it.
See, this is what's gonna happen if you're gonna make me take the lead because I don't know the names of the areas. So at this point, while they're going on, no, he's also being followed by this woman, kind of slowly being tracked by someone, but we know she looks pretty cool, right? We know she looks cool. So in this story, I mean, of course, it's a rough ride when they get there, but that's a good goodbye. He's eating slop and whatnot. The little baby Yoda's eating slop and whatnot in this place. The food fights back at them. There's so many cool, fun stuff, right? Right?
Yeah.
You got to say, you let me keep going and hang myself, right?
I think we'll stop right there. So.
But then, of course, then while this thing is going, there's a trap, right? Of course, so go from there.
Okay, so there's a trap. So what happened, Mando, because the Razor Crest was so badly messed up, when in the previous episode where it was bitten by like an ice, damaged by an ice spiders, they, he goes to this planet. This is the planet that the frog lady was trying to meet her husband at. This is where there's supposed to be other Mandalorians. That was the whole deal. Yeah, so that was the whole reason he went with her there, because he wanted to get Mandalorians, to help him on this quest to give back, to find the people for Baby Yoda and stuff like that. So they're there. She comes off. Her hubby's happy to see her. Yo, what's up? You got the little ones? Thank goodness. The Baby Yoda hadn't eaten all the little ones.
Said this stuff. I said all that stuff. You're saying the whole thing I said over again.
So what's happened? They're looking for more Mandalorians. He goes to a restaurant, and while they're there, he gets told, "Hey, you just go to the ship outside, and they're going to take you. Don't worry, it's my cousin Benny, whatever." So he goes outside. He pays for passage, but guess what? What is it? They want his armor. They trick him, and they try to kill him. There's a battle. They try to throw him inside this pit where he's going to get eaten. They're in the ocean right now, where he's going to get eaten and gets thrown down. Baby Yoda. There's a setup. I'm like, yo, dude, why the heck you walking into it? Did you see that? Did you see that setup coming up? I saw the setup. I think a blind man could have seen this when it gets set up. The man
I wasn't thinking that because I have never been to this land. So I didn't think of them as sea pirates. I thought they were just like, hey, he's just going about business. But now when you think about it, it is kind of
think of it like this. We gotta think of Mandalorian like this. He's walking around with probably like $1 million worth of jewelry. That armor of his is super expensive. Everybody's like, yo, you got Beskar. Yo, what the hell is that? Remember, that Beskar armor can hold off lightsabers. It can take shots. It's super strong, but it's very rare.
I didn't find that out until later. I didn't know that.
So people are always like, yo, this dude is walking around with some nice stuff here. So, if you walk around with mad gold chains and you're a rapper and you don't have your security, you gonna get stuck. You gonna get juked.
Mandalorian got. He actually got.
He got. He was going down, and then all of a sudden, out of the sky, other Mandalorians started pumping out. Bop, 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 bop. And who do we see here? They saved the day. They kicked their butts.
Those are the Babylorians. The
Well, there was a guy.
Mandalorian
There was a
out
guy. There
of
was a guy
nowhere.
there, and so
No, the
these
two of them are babes and one guy.
right. So who do we see? We didn't know who it was, but people have been talking about this for a long time. It was Bo-Katan, and why? And why is she important? Bo-Katan
That's
is a character.
important.
She was in the Clone Wars, and she's the head of a group called the Night Owls. And her sister Satine was the Duchess of Mandalore. Basically, she was trying to make the planet of Mandalore peaceful, get away from their warrior roots. But Bo-Katan was like, no, we are warriors. We fight. You know, we wear the armor. We do all the stuff to fight. And so this was what was pretty interesting in that, you know, this is a character who's never been, she's now canon. Once you get into Mandalore or in the movies, you're canon. But in the comic books and TV shows, I mean, it's kind of canon with the Clone Wars too. But it's just great to see a live version. And this was Katie Sackhoff. Guys, if you don't know Katie, she has been in Arrow, where she has been, shucks, I can't remember her name. She's one of Arrow's bad guys in there. Did a great job. But also, remember Battlestar Galactica. That's right. She was Starbuck. Great role throughout the reimagining of Battlestar Galactica. So we know she has range. She's a fan favorite. So I was happy to see that she reprised the role because she was also the voice actress too for Bo-Katan in the Clone Wars too. So that was great.
Wow.
Right. And she was also in Rebels. So what happened in Rebels, and I'm sorry for the brief synopsis, guys, but in Rebels, her sister was like at the head of Mandalore before it was taken over by Darth Maul, right? And the Death Watch. So the Death Watch are basically where our friend, the Mandalorian, his group of Mandalorians are from, you know, and they are really more old school, more stricter. You got to follow the rules, such and such. But she's a night owl. So when he takes off her helmet and he's like, oh, you're not a Mandalorian. Why are you wearing our armor? She's like, yo, bro, chill out. You know, basically we're Mandalorians, but Mandalorians basically come in all types and shapes. And we don't wear a helmet. But you're from one of those guys, the Watch, meaning Death Watch. You guys hold on to some old fashioned creed. So he would, you know, where he's from, he didn't learn about all this. This is like someone who's been closeted she called the Watch a cult, you know, some old closeted religion that you don't know what the world is. And now all of a sudden you see them. So that's why she was like, yo, chill out. You know?
I just wanted to cut in. You go.
She actually worked with the Death Watch at one point with her night hours to take over Mandalore with Darth Maul, you know. And so when she realized it was going wrong, so she's worked with them. She's been with them. And when that went wrong and she lost, and then she tried to come back again. And she was in Rebels, the animated show with Ahsoka, and the show that Ahsoka was also in, as well as Edgar Bridger and some other people. But it was pretty interesting that they brought her in, and now she's canon. Now what she's trying, one of the reasons this is called
I gotta slow you down. You're going pretty fast. You know, we got to get through this. I do want to say that this sort of banter between Mando and that character, it made it say that we bought into in this point of saying this is the way. This is the way. We bought into it, and the next thing you know, we get to a point where we're saying, hey, maybe we don't have to follow this, because we, the audience, are following and saying this is the way. This is almost as big as May the Force be with you. Maybe bigger right now. We're buying into it, and it finally says, oh, we kind of went against type. So I just wanted to add that in there.
Well, you're right. It goes against type, and it's actually a pretty good way of doing it, where she was able to dispel. Where we've been following the Mandalorians, and those of us who don't normally who don't watch the show and the animated shows and don't understand what's going on, where she can easily dismiss and say, "Yo, dude, you're from a cult, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? You don't know what you're not really a man." She didn't say that, but she's like, "You're from a cult, you know, who has these old-fashioned beliefs." And so all of a sudden, we're like, "Yo, why does he always wear his armor? Why does he always wear his helmet? Why doesn't he take it off?" Now you realize that's just the way he was brought up in that particular sect. But everyone else, he's like, they're taking off their helmets. Like, yo, I'm good. Hey, look at my hair. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm a hottie. I'm not a hottie. You know what I'm trying to say? So, but what you do see is how well they're still skilled in the martial arts, meaning the military arts, how they can kick butt. They're using their jetpacks. They're able to easily disperse people. So these are not people who are easily defeated or whatever. But it was very impressive. You know, I mean. And bringing her in is a big, big deal. And the fact that we go back to Giancarlo Esposito, who's got at the end of season 1, Moff Gideon, and we see that he has the black saber, right? The black saber is a lightsaber that was created by the first Mandalorian. I mean, the Mandalore, they call him, who united all the clans of Mandalore to become, a world and dominate the universe at one point, or sector of universe. And they fought the Jedi. But the Mandalore, the reason he's so important is because that dark saber is the symbol of kingship, like the crown jewels of England. We wear the crown jewels. They're like, yo, you got that? That's you. Or if you're someone who liked Game of Thrones, they're gonna have a new story coming up soon. And one of the kings of the Targaryen kings gave his son the Blackfire sword, which was usually given to the king. And when he got it, people were like, oh yeah, that's the way, he's the king now, even though he already had an older son who should have been king. But it's pretty interesting. It's just a symbol of kingship, and she wants it back. She wants to get back to Mandalore and free it. We've been told in Mandalorian that it's destroyed, but she's like, it's not what you think. And so I guess that's why. So in one of the battles, when they tricked, once again, they're always using Mando to take over stuff. And you see that, right? They're like, yo, we just did a couple of troops on this plane, help us and we'll help you. And come on, again, I said, bro, I don't know about you. You're either the most gullible dude I've ever met, and you're a bounty hunter. You're the most gullible dude I ever met. You go on this ship and you want to figure everything's going to work out. But there's like a whole squad on the damn ship because she's trying to steal some weapons so to set up her own army to go against, I guess, Moff Gideon to take back Mandalore. But it's pretty interesting. What was your take on the episode, my friend? Oh, sorry, I meant to point out she's the heiress. She's the heiress because, like I said, her sister was the head of Mandalore as a Duchess. She in Star Wars Rebels, the animated show, she got the Darksaber from Sabine, one of the characters there, to give her so she could become the leader of the Mandalore. And somehow she lost it during the Great Purge, the war that I guess got rid of many of the Mandalorians from.
So have you seen this Great Purge before?
No, it hasn't come out yet. There's no Great Purge right now. I think that's what they're leading up to, either the retaking of Mandalore. And it's kind of weird because if you saw the final season of Clone Wars, we see her going back to take back the planet from Maul, right? Darth Maul. And and then again, we see her in Rebels. Again, she's going back to the planet to take back from the Imperials. You know what I'm trying to say? With the Darksaber. So now I guess it's going to be the third time. Like, my goodness, how many times are you going to try to take over the world? You keep losing it.
Well, I think one of these things is it led to, with the sort of the difference of opinion, it led to opening feeling like, oh, this is she going to turn on Mando? Is this what are we not sure? I mean, obviously, since you know them, you know that they're good characters. But at the same time, we're not sure what they've been through at this period. So it added a little element that this could not go the way Mando thought it was. But I mean, these characters were, a lot of fun. And ultimately, obviously, Mando, they also showed you that his armor is just like, it's like the Captain America shield armor, that sort of thing, where it's just like, he's stand behind me. He's the blockade to take blasters while they walk behind, that sort of thing. It was interesting.
Wait, are you talking about in the Harris, or are you talking about another episode?
In that, when they're on the Imperial
on the ship,
yeah. And then he kind of goes.
Which to me, kind of, I don't know. Do they have I thought they had the same Beskar armor. So is this better, or whatever?
I think because he got the top of the line. He's at what do they say? The top of the line. I'm the top of the line cheesecake armor.
You would figure she'd have the. Continue.
You think she would have it too?
Well, she's the heiress, like I said. She's like the number. Her sister was a duchess, So who knows?
Oh gosh. So I mean, ultimately, this was a nice action-packed episode. Put Mando in trouble. Mando got. It's a lot of fun stuff in this one. If you're a fan, you get to see a lot of things that you remember. So we're wrapping that one up. Was there any other tidbits in this one? No, the ship is half fixed at the end, right? It's not.
Totally that's just hilarious, man. The ship is just the ship is like one of the craziest things you ever see. It's literally tied by rope. At the very end. They paid the dude on the docks to fix the ship, and he's like, and he gave him, I don't know, 1,000 credits, and he was like, okay, I guess I'll see what I can do. Bro, I would have, like,
that was pretty good. And then with the thing is that when he dropped off the baby Yoda with the frog people, I thought those eggs were goners. And then when they were showing the frog to him, I was like, oh no, that baby is a goner. He's gonna eat the baby. But it was good to have a moment where he's kind of understanding that not everything is food. So we're gonna have to get to the big one next. The next episode, episode 4. We got through episode 3, and you did a glorious job. So I'm gonna lead off the start, so I don't have to do all my nonsense thing. Episode 4,
The Siege.
So this one, we get to see some characters that we've seen in the first series. Characters we love. We got, Cara Dune's in there. I always go to Apollo Creed, but what's his name on the show?
Grief Karga.
Now
he was the head of the bounty hunters.
Now we have, in the start of it, another gag where we have Baby Yoda trying to fix the ship because he's the smallest one in there, and it doesn't work out as planned. Right? There's a nice funny bit of him being in the small thing and Mando trying to talk to him, tell him what to do, and of course it goes awry. So there's a lot of cool moments in this season. So when he gets back, he gets to his girl and they sort of fix up the ship. They're finally gonna is that the one where they fix up the ship? No, that's a different one. So in this one, what's happening? We see Cara doing her.
In the series, that's when they do fix up the whole ship. He gets his ship refixed completely because from that tape and wire and fishnets that they had in the previous episode, he makes it back to there.
So there was other thing I wanted to do with this thing I wanted to talk to you about possibly how, but then we can talk about that later. But it's glorious to see these two characters again, because they almost are our supporting cast that we were expecting to see every episode. Like seeing like Richie Cunningham and Potsy. Like these are like the cool versions of that in this show. So basically he comes to there and they of course have something for him to do on this land too. So but then we get the best scene when he took Baby Yoda to school with the droid, with the classic C-3PO droid. That is like one of the best scenes. And they're getting taught, and and Baby Yoda is not good in school. He is not with the Force. He's using the Force for some bad things.
To take some candy from a kid. I mean, he's a kid.
Yes,
and we got to remember.
That's a bully.
I don't know if he's a bully, but we got to understand that Baby Yoda is like a kid, a 3 or 4 year old kid. He's 50 years old, but in Yoda species, they can be a 900 or 1,000. So he's like a kid. He reacts. He sees something. He likes it. He does his little nice thing. You don't respond. Well, you know what? I'm grabbing it. I'm trying to say. So it's pretty interesting with Baby Yoda, his reaction to. He does well with other kids. He does play with them and stuff like that. We've seen that in previous seasons and stuff. He likes to be there with them. But at the same time, he's a kid. You got to show him what's right and what's wrong, because if not, he's just going to take what he can take. And it's pretty interesting. But
sorry. Now I'm saying with this episode, what is the thing that they're doing? Because for me, I'm just along for the ride. And this episode is a little like Fury Road, because they go on one of the land cruisers and they're just like, they get this guy who was already the bad guy from the other episode, the blue fish looking guy. So they're like, they go out on this trip under this big dune. There's all this other stuff, but it's so much cool stuff happening. What is this mission they're on?
So the mission here is, once again, Mando is tricked into doing a mission that's supposed to be 1, 2, 3. So Grief Karga, Apollo Creed.
We need stuff to happen. Don't be so down on it.
I'm just saying, I'm down because I'm saying they're cool missions, but I'm saying, my gosh, dude, this guy is constantly being used as a bounty hunter. The fact that the good is because his skills are so good and he's just that dangerous that he's able to survive and get out of these encounters. I mean, his skills, we got to give him mad credit for that. But, bro, you got to think like, oh, there's only a couple of Imperials. How many times have you heard that? And so they got to go to this according to what they tell him, this base. They want the planet of Navarro to be free, right? That's the planet that he started off in the first season. That's where he was from. This is where the head of the bounty hunter was. They want to be free. They've taken over most of the planet, but this one base is there. So they got to knock this base out so that the Imperials can leave. And so that's what they go. They go to try and knock this out. They also have, and one great thing about the show is that they bring in characters that happened before in the first season. So this guy, this fish-like creature, he is what do you call that? He was a bounty. He's the accountant for Grief Karga. And
as I said, he's a shyster.
Mando had a bounty on him. He went to grab this guy, brought him back, and stuff like that. Okay, cool, copacetic. But now he thought he would be in jail or somewhere else. But in reality, he's now working for paying off his debt to Grief Karga. I think 200 or 300 years that he owes him to be his accounting. So now they go to the ship. They find out that there's more people there than they thought, and there's more. Actually, it's one of the bases for way many more soldiers.
Way more people, more cool stuff, more fight, and nice locales. I really like this locale. It's really cool.
I mean, you got to say the bases. Star Wars has always done a great job of putting their bases in great locales. It's all over in desert areas, sides of mountains, and it's all over snow planets. And here is no different. And so they go in there, and what they find out, there's actually a full working base where they're conducting experiments. With the trying to develop new troopers who may have powers and stuff like that, clones and stuff. So we also start talking about Dr. Pershing, the guy who had in the very beginning, the first season, he had Baby Yoda, and he was trying to, experiment to take out some of his sample tissues or whatever. So we start understanding what's going on. They're using Baby Yoda to bring these guys, to clone him or clone his powers in these clone troopers or something like that. So it's pretty interesting. But they're able to defeat all these guys, of course, with Mando's help, destroy the base and stuff. But so once more, Moff Gideon loses. He loses the tactical battle. But when our boy Mando gets his ship fixed, when he gets his ship fixed, guess who's there? One of Moff Gideon's spies, and basically now he has a tracker on the Razor Crest. The ship is fixed, and now he can see where he goes, and so the long-term prospect, the strategic loss, is possible there. So it was pretty interesting. To me, it was more of a filler episode. To spend time.
This was the episode that we also had Carl Weathers directing.
Oh yeah, it was Carl Weathers was the director. My bad. What I'm trying to say. You've had a lot of good directors. Like the first episode had Jon Favreau, Peyton Reed, an actor. Peyton Reed was a director. The second. The third episode, The Harris, which we talked about previously, that was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, who is the daughter of who? Ron Howard. Carl Weathers is the director here. So yeah, Jon Favreau and Filoni are bringing in their friends, their boys and girls to do this. I keep feeling that it's like a love fest. He's like, hey, you want to do Star Wars and hang out with me? Yeah, come hang out with me. And that's why they're doing these episodes. And some of these directors have done some pretty good jobs so far.
Well, in this one, all of the action to be kind of to make light of it, and then also the controversy over Pants Guy. Did you see any of that?
What controversy?
Basically, there was an extra or a PA or something. Someone's leg is in one of the shots.
Oh, so please. I didn't notice. There's so much stuff going on. You got to be the dude who's watching the show like 10 times. Yeah, look at that. Look at that leg. Oh, my gosh.
That's the thing. Being it's Lucasfilm and that it's, Lucasfilm and what's the other thing I was thinking? And the DP. The DP has to catch that. And then Lucasfilm, they correct everything. They change and move everything around. They can't, just because Lucas isn't involved anymore, they can't slack on the graphic effects. They're supposed to clean that up. But the land, those other speeders chasing after that weird thing, it was a total Fury Road episode. That's what I liked about it.
Right. I see, when they have that battle, but come on, let's get for real. So in that battle in the canyon between that the Stormtrooper carrier versus the X-Wing, come on, who's going to win that? But I think that carrier is actually from the video games, and so they wanted to do that thing. The one thing about the show, they're incorporating stuff that's in the video games, what's in the TV shows. They're incorporating everything, so it's pretty interesting. Oh, sorry, we had a question before about the Night Owls, whether
Did we have
Mando,
a
they called him Mandy.
question?
Yeah, it says we'll join the Night Owls. Sorry, this is just back to the Harris. Yes, they will be joining. I don't want to say yes. I don't
Oh, it's
know,
that
but he's probably
Brown
gonna.
family, the Chris Brown family.
So they may be joining to help fight the battles and stuff like that. You know. But continuing with the getting back to this episode, this episode, it's cool, bro. It's like we have to give it mad credence in that it's. I mean, like I said, I think it's a filler, but you're right. There's a lot of little things that show up that is pretty good. It's great going back to characters. I always find that fun. It's go callbacks every episode. If you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, there are Easter eggs throughout these episodes. So finding out who's in these characters, finding out things that were in the movies, the TV shows, the books, you know, and they're bringing them all in. So I say, hurrah!
What do you want him to solve the Jedi thing and drop him off already? When people say that, hey, this is a filler, it's like, what do they want? He drops off the baby, it's over, and then the Mandalorian doesn't do anything after that. It's going too fast. But we get the end. What about the end? Where we get to see these weird sort of things that are in the background with the new sort of Emperor guy with the black lightsaber. With Gian Gus. With Giancarlo Esposito.
Giancarlo, that's Moff Gideon. And so we
Moff
see
Gideon?
him, yeah, with his, I think it's Dark Troopers or something. And
Yeah,
those are the guys that he's, so they're like humans, robot things. Those, I believe, were from the video games also. And so those are the ones that he's going to use. These are his troopers that he's spending time developing. But it's an interesting episode, you know. Like I said, it's just to me, I felt more of a filler, but you know, it helps to inform what's going to happen.
Stop saying that.
Okay, it's an issue. It's an episode that does inform us of things that it gives us what could happen in the future, and we know what's going to happen. Okay. So whatever. Anything? And what do you mean, whatever, bro? Yo, are you a fan or you not?
I don't know what's going on here with your critiques. I don't know why this thing is acting up. I'm trying to get to this episode, but I'm almost finished it. It's episode 5, right?
So we are now episode 5, I think it is.
That's what I said.
So this is probably one of the biggest episodes that has happened yet. And you got to give, again, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau about this. And
so you want to see new characters. You just want to see new characters.
No, not new characters. But
unless you see the Mando episodes, the Mando meeting multiple Mandos wasn't filler. That one was filler. And now that you see another possible character that you like from the past, is like, oh, this is not filler. Like,
so hold on a second. There's 2 things we got to understand. There were 2 huge reveals in this episode. Not one, but 2 huge reveals that really set the whole internet on light. Okay? The number one reveal in episode 5, which is called the Jedi. First of all, we all knew it was going to happen, that there was a rumor that Ahsoka Tano was going to be part of this episode, right? Mm-hmm. This is like one of the characters. She was the apprentice to Anakin Skywalker, who would later become Darth Vader himself, right? So she worked with him, and then she was in the Clone Wars. She is the creation of Dave Filoni, who was the guy who's the executive producer of the show, and also one of the big Star Wars guys. He was the director, the guy who ran Clone Wars and Rebels and some of the other shows. So it's imperative that this is his character, just like how you have Yoda was a character. You couldn't do nothing with Yoda unless you talk to George Lucas. You can't do nothing with Ahsoka unless this dude agrees to it. So not only did he bring this character into the universe now, he also directed the episode. You know, and so I'm going to tell you about negative characters. Some of the things I thought the episode was generally slow, but it brought Ahsoka in.
You said it was slow?
I thought it was a little slow on my end, but
it starts with a big fight.
It ends with a fantastic fight. But they brought in, who's our girl who's playing Ahsoka Tano? Rosario Dawson, and she did an excellent job. You know, she came in there. And
you were complaining. You were still complaining.
I said my only thing, I thought it was a little slow, but other than that, I think the episode was an excellent episode.
I said there was 2 fights, didn't I?
2 fights?
There's a
I think there are
big
two.
fight at the beginning and a big fight at the end. And there's another fight after the fight at the end.
Right. So we're
What
having
was that? What was slow about that? You don't like
so,
characterization, huh? You don't like
so
them developing the characters.
like I was saying,
You're
we
in
get
a war.
introduced.
You just go head first into the realm. It's like, nope, just let those troops die. Go out there and fight. Because
So we
I'm
get it.
bored.
So we're introduced to Ahsoka Tano, one of the most pivotal characters. She's been in the Clone Wars, Rebels, and now she's here. And again, she's Anakin's Padawan. She ended the last season of Clone Wars, the final. It was about her, how she developed, what happened to her. And it was amazing. Her powers, the actress playing her, fantastic. You saw her cut through not stormtroopers, but the Imperial troopers with ease, just to show her power. And you're like, wow. And the two lifesavers, yo, bro, off the chain,
But who
and
is the woman that's running this realm? Who is she? Is she a character that's from the Clone Wars?
There's thoughts about this from what I've heard. The magistrate of the moon, or the one who's running it, and she's just basically Ahsoka's trying to help the people who are from this planet, trying to rid them of the their planet being raped and pillaged by the Imperials, and so she's trying to fight them to get those people free. But they are basically hostages within their own village or town. And this magistrate is a woman, and she has a Beskar spear. Basically, again, how valuable this particular spear is because it's made of that particular metal. But she is, what I've read and what I've seen, that she may be someone called from a group of people called the Night Sisters, who are Force sensitive. And Darth Maul, if you know anything about Darth Maul, his people are related to them. So that's who she could be, because she wasn't human. She was kind of reddish. She had a little thing in her head. So that's what people are saying it could be. I'm not 100% sure about that. I need to see a little bit more before I agree. But that's the possibility. Another reason why the Night Sisters, she was able to go towards fight Ahsoka, because like I said, she's Force sensitive. Well, her people are Force sensitive, and she can, hold. She's also been trained in martial arts, and she can hold someone on her own. Of course, Ahsoka could easily beat her, but it's a TV show. We want to be entertained. So what happens is
you jumped over just going power. All I want is action. That's all you care about.
But you just told me to give you who she was.
I just asked that. But then you went to the fight at the end. I just asked for who she is, and then you just went to the fight at the end, and I'm like, what the hell?
Are we going to be arguing about this thing the whole time, bro?
Yes, it seems like we're going to be arguing about this all the time. Now, after so kind of after she shows that she can really put a dent in this realm, Mando comes looking for a Jedi, and they say, "Hey, we got this bounty. Can you take care of this thing? Because you're still Mandalorian, right? You'll take that bounty." He's like, "Yeah, I'll take it." And he comes out there, and there's a little bit of back and forth, and so that it's not going to be an easy kill if he was going to go for the bounty, and he basically connects her with Baby Yoda, and we have a big moment that Mars does not care about. We find out what Baby Yoda's name is.
Wait. What about the fight before that?
I just said they had a fight.
But that was a classic fight. The Mando versus the Beskar armor versus the classic Mandalorian versus the Jedi. Remember, their whole armor and jetpacks were developed to be able to fight the
Jedi
and tactics to fight the Jedi. So here you see that classic fight where she's using her lightsabers and he's able to block some of that. Classic.
But it's not easy.
Beautiful. It's not easy.
But then he tries to wrap her up. She does a trick where she flips over, and
because she's fought Mandalorian. She know how they fight. So remember, she's been around a while. When she was in Clone Wars, she's like a teenager. Now she's a grown woman. She knows what to do. She knows
now we have a third fight now we have 3 fights. You said this one was a little slow, right? So after they figure that stuff out, the second fight in the story.
Why are you passing forward the fights? The fights are the best part about the whole thing. What are you talking about, bro?
Characterization is the best part.
Dude, do you want me to come through the window and stick my foot into someplace? You know what I'm trying to
The
say?
characterization is what you're
The
supposed to. Is
fight
also
is
good.
what we want to see. The fights, the 1-on-1s, the 2-on-2s, the 3-on-1s. Yeah, the battles.
Oh my gosh!
Clearly, I'm watching the show with somebody else who doesn't know how to watch the show, bro. He's not reading it.
How you have to tell me
Though I
how I
walk
should
through,
watch a show?
though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Yes, I'm telling you how to watch the show.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
just like someone
Okay.
has to be like that's like I have to teach how you have to teach people how to drink fine wine. The same way you have to teach craft beers, like you have to teach them how to eat proper cheeses. I'm trying to teach you the same thing, bro. All right, simple as that. You know.
All right. So at the same time, what is it? Do we have an actual comment? Still, hopefully this thing is still going, right? Yeah, it says it's going. All right. So in this, we learned Baby Yoda after the big fight. We learned Baby Yoda's name. You want to do the
Oh
honors?
no, I'll let you do the honors. We're gonna talk about that. It's
Oh
not
my
Baby Yoda.
God.
That's all I gotta say.
His name is Grogu, and he immediately turns to it. So they Grogu, and he's like, yes, Grogu, yes, every time. So it's a thing of then this thing where if you have people who don't always speak the same language, is always that was always interesting. And her interacting with Grogu also was very interesting because she starts to hint to some of the things that was wrong with Anakin, that he was sort of trained later and that sort of thing, and the force, and you got all your anger and all this other stuff. Now,
Oh, wait, hold on. What about Grogu? You didn't say how does she know? What does she know about Grogu? Tell us about Grogu.
he'll tell us about Grogu. Tell us. You tell us.
Grogu was in the Jedi Academy. Okay, he was there. He was growing up with those kids there, so he was being trained as a Jedi already as a
Yes.
child, right? And
Why
so
don't you want to train him now?
because now she can sense darkness coming into him. Because remember, when all those other kids got killed, when Anakin killed all those kids in the thing, somehow this one survived. And some people saying that Anakin saved them.
Oh,
I
I
haven't read
didn't
that
get
story.
that. That's
Yeah,
crazy. So that's from
right.
that stage.
Yeah, from that stage. So then she says is all he has is darkness. Because as we can see, he was captured by Moff Gideon. So there's supposed to be a couple of years lag between some of these things. So he's been um, gone from the clone. This is the beginning of the clone. Well, no, it's not. This is the end of the Clone Wars. So it's and now we're at the end of the rebellion. So it's probably like 20 years has gone by, right? I think if the numbers are right. I
Okay.
gotta check that out. Because he turned to the dark side in the Sith in the final movie, and then after that the Empire started, and then now the Clone Wars is like 5 years after the rebellion has won. So it's probably 15, 20 years that this whole thing has gone through or whatever. And so what's happened to him in all that time? Has he been in suspended animation? Has he been used? We don't know. But remember, his race ages very slowly. So
Yes.
and that's one of the reasons he connects with the Mandalorian, because I guess he doesn't see that he's using him. He looks at him as a father figure. He follows him. That's why she said, "I
You saying
can't
he's
train him."
using Baby Yoda? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying Baby Yoda is
How is
using
he
him
using
as a
him?
father figure. I'm not saying using him, but I'm just saying he finds him, unlike like Moff Gideon and those guys, they were using him as an experiment to utilize his blood to clone and stuff. He instead is Mandalorian is just trying to help him out, and I think he feels
And
he can feel the empathy, and that is why Ashoka says, "I can't train him." He's too connected to you, basically. Like she didn't say father and son, but they're connected, and that's why he responds well to the Mandalorian.
well, can I correct you on something?
No, you can't.
It's
Let's go forward.
you can't you can't what did you say? You said he's using him as a father figure. You can see someone as a father figure. Using them as it is a little I can't that doesn't really work for me.
He's not his pops.
That's not how it works. Father figure is someone else that you see as like a father,
Right.
not your father. It
Right.
doesn't
You're
mean
using him. You're using
them.
him like a
You're not
father figure. Yes.
using them.
Okay. So once again, we have to disagree. I'm trying to say I don't know how's out there with you guys outside of the five boroughs, but the rest of us we look at it a little differently. Okay.
This guy, he's really
Who?
testing me right now.
Yoda?
You. So
Baby
then,
Yoda?
of course, they decide that not Baby Yoda. So then they decide, you know what? We're
Wait,
gonna
wait,
work
wait. I'm
together.
stressing you out. I'm stressing you out.
Anyway, they go
I'm
in
rubber, you're glue.
big.
Whatever you say bounces off of me, sticks
But
onto you.
now we got to cut to who these characters really are. And now we realize that we're not going to get Night Nurse from Marvel Studios.
Were we supposed to get her?
Mario Dawson is not going to be Night Nurse, and she's not going to be the female Moon Knight either. Then the other thing that happened that wasn't cool, that they killed Kyle Reese.
Tough luck.
You didn't even factor in Kyle Reese. Was that Michael
Yeah.
Bean? Like
Yeah,
come
I said,
on.
but it's
Classic.
hey, dude, it did show. He went up against. I like that classic battle. The classic. Yeah, I know, but I like that classic standoff between them. Oh, we don't have to do anything, and then he puts his weapon down, and he thinks he's faster than Mando, and Mando takes him out. Like, come on, are you for real? Are you for real? Are you for real? He's the best bounty hunter out there, and well, one of the best bounty hunters out there.
Then we have the cool fight with lightsaber and Ahsoka and the big staff that's able to block the lightsaber. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, Elizabeth, I believe her name, and she's the I guess the administrator of that particular area. And yeah, I mean, like I said, they were battling it out. She's using the Beskar, which is basically the same armor that our boy, the Mandalorian, is using, and she's fighting boom, boom. But again, come on, you got two lightsabers, a Jedi who's in her prime. I don't think there's going to be any. There was no battle. She just was trying to, because the key thing in the end, she didn't want to kill her. What did she want? What did she ask at the very end, Petey? What did she ask?
You want to find out what did you want to find out about her? Do you want more information about her?
She wanted to know where Thrawn is. Thrawn.
Oh,
that's right.
The guy who's the
biggest
big
review.
guy.
That's the big bad, because Thrawn was, again, a series of books by.
Oh my God, we're going into the book.
Okay, I'm not even going into it, but
go into the book. I'm not going to do this. I'm sorry, it was a joke. Please go into the books.
I'm not going to talk about it.
Go into the books.
You don't have to beg.
I'm waiting. Do it. I'm not begging.
Not begging. I'm waiting. Still waiting.
This is Admiral Thrawn. He's some sort of blue guy that I've never seen before.
He's a chist from the unknown regions, from the chist ascendancy. They've changed things up because in the books, he was found in a world. He was exiled, but now they're saying that in a new series of books written by the same author, Timothy Zahn, that he was intentionally put in this world so that he could, infiltrate the Empire to learn about what they're up to and stuff like that. And Thrawn is a tactical genius. He is able to defeat, in the first series of books, he's able to defeat the rebels with just one cruiser and a couple of different ships. He's just that good. And you see him he gets reintroduced finally in Star Wars Rebels and with Ahsoka, and he's just kicking butt. I mean, he's figuring out what the rebellion is doing. He's always one step ahead. He's not your typical bad guy. He uses art, he uses information, and he tries to figure out what to do to get it together. But in the book, one of the things that made him deadly is that he figured out the weakness of some of the Jedis, and so Jedis couldn't use their powers on him. And it looks as though he may still have some of that, but they haven't introduced it. They haven't really said it in the canon as of yet. So we'll see if he does it. But the only way he ends up losing in the books is that in the original books is that he's killed by one of his allies, something he did not expect at all. But so in the Rebels, he disappears into the unknown region with one of the characters, Ezra Bridger, who's unseen. So remember, these are characters by Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni was the one. And so Ahsoka went into the unknown regions to look for him. So we see that she's back. So now she probably says Thrawn is back. When she says, "Where is Thrawn?" He's plundering this world to get resources to take control. Now the Emperor's gone. So it's pretty interesting in and of itself. So that is it's really, really cool stuff there. So, I mean, that's the big reveal. So the Ahsoka introduced, and the fact that Thrawn is around. So now we know Moff Gideon is trying. We thought in the first series that Moff Gideon was just trying to take over part of the world, right? Part of the galaxy that he was in. But now, what you have Thrawn, he's a Grand Admiral. I mean, he has his own fleet. This is a whole new ball game, you know. Now you have the
So
resources.
now that we've gotten this far in the episode, we get into the real deal episode. Hold on. Is there anything else? Is there anything else? Takes Grogu. They send them to say, go to this mountain. Is that the mountain where Luke Skywalker and all the stuff that from the Last Jedi happens?
No, that's another place. So
No.
it's kind of confusing because they tell us that's where the original Jedi come from, but no, that's the original Jedi where Luke came from, where the Jedi itself, the Jedi Council. Where it went to is where the original people who started, who were considered Jedi, started. So it's a little convoluted, but it's there. So
That's
it's
like
a place.
that's where the Jedi started.
Right.
Actually.
So we're talking about now. If we're moving on now to episode 6, The Tragedy, and this is directed by our boy Robert Rodriguez. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
Do you remember him?
Of course, we remember him from the Desperados, from the Mariachi, from all of his stuff. Sin City, which would be my favorite of his.
I thought Spy Kids was your favorite.
Huh? No, Spy Kids is not my favorite, but I respect it in the sense that he was allowed to, learn the CG and stuff like that, and really push it beyond, and do all this cool stuff with Sin City and whatnot. So he's a talent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of our favorite movies I thought was Machete.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
So I thought was
and actually have someone who's been a character actor his entire time actually get a leading role, which was just sort of it's the only thing that came out of that Grindhouse movie, because nothing else was good in it. It was really bad.
But what about we forget Dusk Till Dawn? It introduced
that was a half of the movie's good. The first hour or first part of it's good, and then the second half is just a schlock.
Oh my gosh, you vampire hater.
Oh, just sort of schlock vampire. And then they have who's the name? They have Fred Williamson. He has this
Salma Hayek was great, and so was Clooney.
Well, I mean, what else can you say about Salma Hayek? That's another highlight. It's still going good at that point, and then it turns to a schlock like we need more of her.
Okay. All right, so we digress.
So in episode 6, you see Mando trying with Grogu to get Grogu to use the Force, right? There's something
to contact.
Well, before that, in the plane, we see him trying to do the same trial with the ball back and forth. So they go into this planet, as Mars said, the whole plan. But there was someone, I think it's episode 2, where someone was following Mando, and we kind of knew who he was, right? With the sand, the whole sand creature and whatnot, we saw someone following him. And they go to this planet with what's the name? And of course, they get to the mound. They're doing this thing, and nothing happened. He's just sitting on there. And then obviously Mando's distracted. And while he's distracted, what happens? Grogu connects with the Force in a way we've not seen before, unless you've seen it before. Have you seen that before?
No, it's just a big amplifier. I mean, we've seen it in Marvel and other places before, but yeah.
I mean, for the Force, connecting with the Force that way.
No, I mean it's they've had this. They've talked about stuff like that. Actually, this reminded me a lot of Endgame when they went to go to the Soul Stone. I don't know. I just kept on getting Soul Stone vibes there. You know what I'm trying to say? When he was doing that.
It also has a classic Boba Fett ship in it. So ultimately, we're getting hints that this is the guy. We kind of saw a guy that looks like Jango Fett. So we've never seen Boba Fett without the mask. He said he was a clone with a slight difference. So we're pretty sure he looks exactly like Jango Fett, right? And of course, at this point, Grogu is doing this thing connecting with the Force. So there's nothing that Mando can do with them. So he's like, all right, I'm going to take care of these guys. I'm going to defend you. And they get the drop on him. But at the same time, this character wants the armor that he took from episode 2, right? I'm right so far, right?
Wasn't it episode 1?
Okay, it's episode 1. But it was Boba Fett in that episode? Or was that episode 2?
He was in the background.
So that one was in the one where he had the
The
episode
Western
1
when he came back.
that one? Okay. So I remember him walking around, but I thought that was episode 2 for him. So
Wait.
anyway.
Let me double check that. No, you may be right. No, it's episode 1. Yeah, it's episode 1. That was the Marshal.
So
yeah,
that was Marshal. Also has a. Sorry, you go.
Yeah, so the Marshal had Mandalorian armor, and so this is a big deal for because of the cult that our friend Mandalorian is part. He's like, yo, you gotta take it off. You're not a Mandalorian. So he told the Marshal to give it to him. So the deal was he would help the Marshal fight the Crate Dragon, and then he would take the armor. And so that's what he did. So now, we find out it is Boba Fett who's been following him, and Boba Fett wants what? His armor back. But it's not just him. He has who?
He has the chick from the Asian chick from what's that thing? From the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's there and looking cool as always. She got a cool, funky, old, messed up helmet that you see that you see in Star Wars, some classic stuff that you see in their thing. But they have a deal. They have this deal. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I said Ming-Na was left for dead in season 1, right? But she's come back with our friend Boba Fett, and she's had like robotics implanted in her stomach or something like that. And Ming-Na, her name is she's a mercenary, Fennec Shand, and so she's back there. So she didn't hold any hard feelings because it wasn't Boba Fett, it wasn't Mandalorian who had killed her. But like I said, everybody thought she was dead. He thought she was dead, and she came back, and now she's with Boba Fett.
She's too good to let die. She's too good to let die.
Yeah, way too good to let die.
So they kind of make a deal, and of course the troops start coming. The stormtroopers, they come out of nowhere, and they're obviously after the kid, right? So what's the name's like, I'm gonna go help you and say, I'm gonna go check on the kid. That doesn't go well for Mando, and that leaves our 2 other characters to fight off. And this Boba Fett in this new outfit and his new weird staff is wrecking shop. He's breaking. I think Robert Rodriguez added an element of breaking the actual helmet of the stormtroopers, which is really cool. And this, the effects of the action, adding just a little touch more than them just being cannon fodder. Yes, they're cannon fodder, and yes, they kill in this series. They kill a lot of stormtroopers. It's noticeably they're almost like like the like the carload of Mexicans that they never start coming out. It's like there's really a lot of stormtroopers that get hacked away, but it's cool.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know because I thought that was pretty troubling. I've never seen it. It's that hardcore with the stormtroopers, and you don't
want them to hit them and stab them and kill them.
Yeah, but the way they made it, it's like Robert Rodriguez. You can't deny it. I mean, it's much more brutal and more than the typical kilt. So,
but he has a spike on the top of his staff. That's
and at the bottom.
That's the thing is that what's breaking them, and he's stabbing them through the armor and whatnot. Isn't that really worked for me. You're just saying, hey, they should be hit like it's play and just fall down, right?
I just wasn't expecting. I said I wasn't expecting it to be so definitive. Okay, graphic or definitive is how he made it to be. But they kept on coming out with stormtroopers. You killed a bunch and you kept on coming. There's one thing with Mando. Yeah, like, oh, we did the first batch didn't kill him. We're gonna get him. So, but what was the coolest thing was that Mando, Fennec Shand, by the way, she was kicking butt. They were all kicking butt, man. I mean, great action sequences. Robert Rodriguez, you can't skimp on that stuff. But what was the thing is like, why would Mando leave Baby Yoda? Excuse me, Grogu. He leaves Grogu, comes down, which you could say. I said, yo, he's leaving the mountain. clearly this guy needs to get somebody on his side that can tell him in a computer voice or something like, or his guardian angel say, don't do that, don't do that. And then
I think you're missing that the actual force thing was impenetrable. He tried to do it like 3 times and
no,
failed.
we saw that and he failed, and so he assumed. But the minute he left for the 3rd time, it went down. And guess who started coming down now? Huh? The Death Troopers.
He didn't know that. That's the thing. He didn't know that. All right, I can't.
I know. No, you're right. You make a good point. Why I can't? I'm just saying you make a very good point. You're right. I totally didn't think of it like
3 times. Then he's like, all right, no one's getting in. But then when it comes, when it actually he sees those troopers flying, those new funky troopers, the dark, what's it they call them, the dark troopers or something like that.
Yeah.
But it destroyed. That's the thing. They destroyed Mando's ship. Like they totally destroyed.
Oh yeah, that was hot. He just came
like,
by. Moff Gideon's ship just came and just shot a boom, and that was it. It was like, oh my gosh. It's just like.
And then he's trying to get. Couldn't he put back on his armor, his jetpack to get to the kid?
I was thinking the exact same thing too. I was thinking the exact same thing. Why not use your jetpack? Probably it's a one-time use. You use it for 15 minutes and that's it. You have to refuel it. I don't know, because when I saw Boba Fett come with his armor, with his jetpack, I was like, oh, he took his armor, but no, that one was shiny, and that's all I was told. I said, no, that one was shiny, and I was like, oh, I didn't even see that. One of the people I was watching with it, I was like, yeah.
So ultimately, we get to see this Imperial cruiser, whatever that thing is. We get the dark troopers, and they're kind of funky, a little really robotic and whatnot.
I love the way they flew down. They were like,
yeah, there's some cool effects.
Information.
Kind of taking what Iron Man does and taking it a step differently. Like to say they're flying one way, and when they're landing, they got a shift. Where Iron Man usually does this hands thing, they kind of set up give a little distance before that. So of course, Grogu is out, but they take him with no problem. And even when he wakes up, he can't really do anything for that to stop them. So they take him, and the whole point of the show is kind of went left.
What do you mean went left?
Because the Mandalorian doesn't have the baby anymore. The lone wolf and kid, the whole aspect is gone. He's right where they don't want him to be.
Right, but in Lone Wolf and Kid, wasn't there? I thought there was a couple of issues where the kid wasn't with him, and so he had to come back and get the kid. And I think the same thing here.
Left, but not with the kid. Yes, it's a story, and of course, possibly he'll get the kid back. But I'm saying at this point, the story went left. Not to say that's a bad thing. For Mando, it went left.
Okay,
he's lost the baby. His whole focus is off, and he can't send Boba Fett after him because he's like, the kid is there. I can't get the kid killed. Let them go. But sorry, you go.
No, but I'm saying you're right on many instances. But one of the things I actually liked about this episode, I thought it was a little slow at times too. But there's
fighting in it. There's only fighting. There's only shooting. What's slow?
Probably I'm looking at video games a little too long.
They took the baby. They wanted to beat the baby.
But it was a good episode. I like the episode. Listen, so what I'm saying is that the good thing is that when no one expected, when you have a story when a twist occurs that you didn't expect, is always good, because when it becomes that what's going to happen, then it's like, oh my gosh. Sometimes you want to see things happen continuously, but in this show, the very fact that they were able to make that twist, I was like, yeah, baby, he's taken. It's not going to be just a straight, they're going to be together or whatever. And also the whole point of him going there was to reach out to other Jedi or any Force users. And so the question now is, what's going to happen? Who's going to come to teach him? And there's been a whole bunch of things people have been talking. Is it going to be Ezra Bridger who went against Thrawn? Is it going to be someone else from the book, the books or movies or animation or games that they're going to bring in? Or could it also be who? Mace Windu. Windu.
Not coming into this.
So no, because they just came out with something the other day that said, what's the famous thing they say about stories? If you don't see them die on camera, they're not dead. So now they're saying that he may not be dead.
I can accept that the Ahsoka, that chick is alive. I'm not accepting Mace. I'm not accepting Mace Windu is gonna come back so he can cut off Mando's head again. What? Then we have a big fight between Boba Fett and Mace Windu. Like, come on.
Can I
No.
ask you a question? Did you get a call from Dave Filoni and John Favreau about that? Exactly. That's what I thought. So since you haven't gotten the call, don't tell me get out of here.
You know what?
You're gonna
I'm
watch
gonna.
it. You're
know
gonna
what?
watch it no matter what.
Since we're at the end of the episode, we're gonna do what I've been planning to do. Right? You're gonna sell me on the Mandalorian, and we have to go through 7 pitches. Right? So you try to sell me on it, and you can't have Baby Yoda in your first pitch. Right?
Okay. Got it.
So what? All right. So I'm the studio exec. What do you got? I want some new Star Wars stuff for a TV show. What do you got? You're Mr. John Favreau, Mr. Iron Man. You only did 1 movie. What are you gonna give me for this next one, John Favreau?
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Great
Something
Executive?
with Faison. Something with Faison. You gonna give me something with Faison and Vince Vaughn? Come on. I don't want swingers.
Hey, Mr. Great
Executive. I took the meeting. What are you gonna give me? I don't want swingers. Go ahead. Couples retreat. I don't want it.
Hey,
I don't want the chef in the cart. Give me some. I don't know how you got this meeting. Tell me about what your Star Wars is.
Hey, Mr. Great
You got
Executive.
5 seconds.
Hey, Mr. Great Executive. How are you doing today? I'm just glad to see you, and I hope that you are happy in this Christmas period and stuff like that. But I think I got a property for you that will be a huge hit. You know, we see the Star Wars shows right now, but what about a Western in space? A Western, a Star Wars Western.
Sci-fi Western, when was that done before?
Oh, they had it in Firefly, which was very well received on Fox, but it didn't have the Star Wars brand behind it. Also, we're going to bring
Star Wars has any elements of Western in it?
Of course. Look at Tatooine. Look at the bar scene. Look at the fights in the desert. It's classic Western. In fact, George Lucas said he took it from Westerns and then Zen movies and stuff like that. So it's 100%.
I have to go some research for that.
Wait! Don't worry about it. We know you can't read, so don't worry about it.
You're saying the person who get you fired can't read?
I'll give you PowerPoint.
That's how you want to go without this pitch?
No, great one. No, great one.
No, see, cut. The next day, you tell your soul to meet me again. Oh, okay, day 2. Oh, we meet again, huh?
Hey, we meet again. How you doing today, Mr.
I saw the Chef movie. I liked it. I liked the Chef movie. It was pretty good.
It's a great movie.
I don't see how that could work in my field.
Oh, well, you know what? The question is not whether the Chef movie was great because I brought together talented actors to do a movie. And here, we're going to bring in talented actors, just like we did in the Chef, people that I know in Hollywood to do this stuff, people who are reliable, who can do a line, and you don't have to worry about them. And we're going to do the same thing with Star Wars. We're going to basically do a Western. And you're going to say, why a Western? Because this is the genre that people are going to love. They already loved it already from the Star Wars movie. We're going to go back to the original Star Wars. Nothing new. We're going to basically just retrace in the Outer Rim where Luke Skywalker was originally and just explore that. But we're going to explore it from the point of view of the bounty hunter. Boba Fett. One of the most favorite characters of all time.
Before you go, is it possible you can add more Western stuff to your pitch? You know, I was thinking about the Star Wars thing, and something that didn't come up in our past thing was the Western's a big part of the show. Like, it's really a big part of the movies. Don't you think? Okay, yes. Good. Like, we're in the same mind here. This is going well.
Yes, we are, you know. And if you want to add one of your friends into it, it's okay. We can always incorporate. You know what I'm trying to say? Your sister, your wife, your brother, you know, we can definitely put them in because there are a lot of stormtroopers and aliens that, you know, no one will recognize, but you will. And so one of the great things about this is that we think that our vision will bring in the hardcore fans, but also keep it nice and light and simple for new fans to come in. So I think this is an absolute bona fide hit. There's just no way. And we're bringing in top talent from the Star Wars universe. We're getting actors and actresses from around the who top notch doing this at rate. Remember, at rate. They're not going to be charging tons of money for this. You know. So we're going to be saving money there.
I'm going to say to you like this first. I think the Force can't be in this series. I don't want any Force stuff in this series.
Oh, the Force is going to be such a light touch you won't even realize it. The only time you're going to do is come around and touch your butt. That's the only way you'll feel something like that. Okay?
What? In this climate? Cut! You're out of here. I want him out again.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, day 3, the 3 months later. They're
Okay, so
telling me I'm going to talk to you, and I'm sorry we kicked you out the other time. There was some things that I didn't understand that was said, and I'm not saying it's either me or you. It's just a mix up, but everyone's liking your ideas. They're liking your stuff. I think that we got off on the wrong foot the last 2 times. But you're a good guy. You come back. You understand that sometimes we're gonna have some disagreements.
Oh,
You
of
know,
course, of course. I know
and
Doctor Who fans don't understand Star Wars.
that's
So hey,
right. I mean, I wanted to add the Western stuff in. You didn't. So I
no,
said, you know what? That's what you went on. You came to the picture and you added it to the pitch. It works really good for me.
right. And I also understand that the British don't understand the American stuff so well.
See, there we go.
You're not as talented as some of the other people I've dealt with. In fact, your boss has told me he's interested in the show. He says I have $100 million budget. What about that?
Okay, I mean, maybe so. One thing I said, and they said they had to do this. What I want in this show is I want Baby Groot in this show.
Baby what?
Baby Groot. Can you put Baby Groot? I'll let you do whatever you want because you come here, you survived it. All you need to do is give me Baby Groot in this show and I'll greenlight everything that you have. Can you give me a Baby Groot?
We're talking about Star Wars, not Marvel, right? Not Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't care what it is. People like Baby Groot. I need you to give me Baby Groot, and that's final.
Okay. So what if we do a baby Chewbacca? Okay. A hairy little Chewbacca. It's like everybody's.
That was isn't that in that Star Wars Christmas special? Wasn't there that in there? People hate the Star Wars special.
But I love
What else do you got?
I'm just saying, imagine a teddy bear baby Chewbacca. I'm trying to say it could be in everybody's house. We can be like this thing where in the Western
that's
we
an
would
Ewok.
find a
That's like Cousin It.
No, it could go. Everybody likes a fluffy. Everybody likes a fluffy. Everybody likes a fluffy pet. You know what I'm trying to say? It has to be a little baby.
I think I'm getting a call from some other people from what's that guy who did The Last Jedi? I think I'm talking to him about this show. I think.
Oh wait, hold on. I got a call. Wait, guess what? You won't believe it. George Lucas just said we can use Yoda. So what if we use a baby Yoda instead?
Yoda for what?
For the show. Let's say we find out.
Yoda is an old.
No, a baby Yoda. A baby Yoda. Who acts like a little baby, a 3 or 4 year old baby, but really he's older.
Yoda is old.
Not Yoda.
How can you take Yoda and make him young? Another
Yoda-like creature. We'll call him Michael Jackson, just for short, until we come up with a better name, right? So we will call him that, and then we're going to use him as a nice little cuddly guy who has light force abilities, and he doesn't have anybody in the world, and that's bounty hunter that we're using for the Western, the guy who's is going to be taking him on.
Right. We went around the way to what I want, and what I want is Jar Jar as a kid, a little baby Jar Jar.
Sure, I got a Jar Jar. We'll make him green because they're come in different colors, and we'll make him a little smaller because he's a baby Yoda. You know what I'm trying to say?
I want Jar Jar, the kid of Jar Jar, in there, and I've been trying to spell it out to you, and you gave me a baby Yoda.
Well, the fact is that Jar Jar didn't sell well. So I don't know if you want to talk to Michael Eisner or if you want to talk to the guy who's had it, and they're going to tell you it doesn't work. So if we do a baby Yoda, it makes more money. Jar Jar.
So you already got the okay. You put your money on a baby Yoda, which everyone knows Yoda is old as anything. Besides a baby Ewok, a baby Jar Jar, you're going with Yoda. That's the one you want to go with? You're going to do your pilot on that.
I'm going to do the pilot on that, and I tell you it's going to be a big hit. You know what? Let's just do a screen test. let's do a screen test, and you tell me what you think after that, and you think whether it'll be
It's
popular
gonna
with
be
the kids.
another digital Yoda. Remember that didn't work? You're gonna do that
No,
too,
we're
right?
going to go straight to the original Yoda, the Henson factory, and they're going to develop it for us. It's going to be lifelike. I promise you, it's going to be sweet. We got George Lucas backing us on this. He's giving us. George Lucas never gives anybody the okay to use Yoda, and here he's saying we can use Yoda. And you know what's going to be even better? It'll be a slow reveal. We won't even reveal who it is at the very beginning. So when people see it, they're going to be, oh my gosh, it's the baby Yoda. It's going to be a big hit. I'm telling you. And we're going to bring in money. We're going to reinvigorate the Star Wars franchise, and you're going to have a blast.
You're asking a lot, but you already got this deal, and you've been gracious enough. I'm gonna let you, I'm gonna let you tread water. Come back to me after the pilot. We'll screen the pilot, then we have a meeting together, and we'll see if you have a job, right? We'll find out if you have a job, or I have my Jar Jar Binks or Ewok baby.
So
Cut.
sounds fair to say.
Get out of my office. Out of my office. All right. John, you did it.
What did I say?
We did it. Remember we came up with the baby Yoda together? We did it.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
This is
the collaborative
vision.
The collaborative part about this. Yes. With your idea about bringing in the baby or something like that would work. And it's going to sell toys like crazy. The Disney theme park people are calling me like, hey, this is going to be a bestseller until COVID hits.
Now I can't. They've taken my suggestions. I wanted to get a baby Jar Jar in there, but it's still your idea. They won't let me kind of force it on you. But I think if he had like a buddy, like a friend, they won't. I can't. I'm coming to you saying this is a big deal. This is going to work. And since you have such great ideas, with a baby Jar Jar, would that work? Come on, man.
It's not a negative, but we can work out something. There are many episodes. If you can greenlight this for 2-3 years, I guarantee you, we can get you something like that in there. All right. We just need to develop because we're really trying to rebuild. We're trying to really develop you got to really develop this world.
That sort of gray area when I don't have enough, I can't. See, now you're going to turn the screws on me because you got the power. And I'm saying as a friend, I brought you in here after you insulted me so many times. Can you just work in that? I can't force it on you, but we'll pay next.
Of course. We'll definitely do it in one of the episodes, And like I told you, we can put in one of your family members in there too.
If I could kick you out of this room now, and then I seen you around there. People on the internet, they're giving you all the credit, saying that this is going to be, they expect it to be good. And you need to tell them that we did it.
And I've told them, and I told them all the time on the interviews officially that this is a creative process, collaborative process that we all work together. That's what I tell them officially.
I haven't heard my name in there. You talk about all the directors you're getting. You're not talking about the guy.
Oh, but you're the guy.
Like a go-between.
Every time an episode has your name down as one of the producers. So why do I have to say your name? You're there, right there. You know what I'm trying to say? People want to ask me about the directors, what they're doing, and specific things. They don't specifically say, "Hey, can you tell me about all the producers?" They don't tell me that. So that's why. But you are the foundation of the show. You are the one who helped make this show a success. And if you want, we can go together. If you want, we can go together to Comic-Con and talk. They won't ask you any questions, but I'll be glad to have you there too.
See, now I'm not. I can kick you out of the office, but I can't fire you. So just get out of here. I don't want to see you until next year. I can't. I'm not even a part of this. I'm not even in this wing anymore.
You're greenlighting the show. You're greenlighting the show.
You already knew it was already green light. What are you rubbing in my face? Wearing the green shirt at the same time. You already know it's green lit.
Yoda.
All right, thank you guys for our little bit of Star Wars theater. If anyone was out there, well, I finally wanted to do what it would be like in that sort of pitch meeting of how the struggles of a show creator could kind of get to the baby Yoda, because it's kind of funny in my idea. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We got through 4 episodes, and we'll be giving you more soon. And thanks, Mars, for his very thorough reviews of the show.
Thank you for your reviews too. Thank you for your help in all of these reviews, and thank you for the comedy spot at the very end. Spitterack?
Spitterack out.
That was fun.